Game 2 getting set here at the Hanson Family Field at Valley High School, West Des Moines, Iowa. Field just a little bit to the south of the high school. Game 1 in the books, 12-2 in 5 innings. The Ottumwa Bulldogs able to muster some hits, but just not enough runs. Valley ended up picking them up their victory as well. We'll run through the lineups as we kind of get through here, but Ottumwa will bat with Dominic Delahoy, Blaze Rominger, Mitch Woods. Those are the top 3 batters in the Ottumwa order. Wood will be the pitcher for Ottumwa here in Game 2. Jesus Jaime, Trey Schwartz, Adam Deniston. The catcher will be the 6th batter. Max Thomason, Andrew Cole, and Colton McKinnon for head coach Don Yeager and the Bulldogs. For the Ottumwa Bulldogs, they, as mentioned, will be Mitch Wood in Game 2. And for Valley, we are going to wait until we hear our anthem here before we get going, as we'll go ahead and take a listen in and have the lineup just in a moment. Our national anthem being played. Valley's going to have Casey Stalzer on the mound, toeing the rubber as we get set for Game 2. Valley's offense, their lineup's going to look like Alex Whitcomb, the senior, going to be batting first. Caleb Corbin second. Nick Buttolph is going to be in the 3 slot this game. Casey Stalzer will bat in the cleanup hole. Drew Peterson bats 5th, then Garrett Helm. And then Carson Shelton will get the start in right field. He'll bat 7th. Tanner Christ is at second base. He'll bat 8th. And then sophomore Nick Meyer, the only underclassman we've seen either team so far in this doubleheader, he is going to be catching and batting 9th. Now we don't have an update on the catcher for Game 1 for Valley. Bobby Cobine Jr. hit a single late in the ball game, but as he left the batter's box to try to run to first base, fell over and really was limping all the way down the first base line. Did end up making it there, but was taken out of the game, of course, and limped off. Did put a little bit of weight on his injured leg, but it appeared to be his right leg. We have no speculation. We're not going to speculate on his condition, but he is not in the lineup here for game number 2, as I'm sure they'll be very cautious since this was day 1 of what will be a fun but a quick month-long season is baseball and softball back in the state of Iowa starting today, and everybody around the country paying close attention, including right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network throughout the season, because this is the only high school sports that will be going on around the country in these months, and the first high school sports that have happened in the country since the coronavirus pandemic hit the United States in March. Dominic Delahoy is going to get things started here for us in game number 2. First pitch on the way from Casey Stalzer is a called strike, and we're underway. First pitch of game 2 at 7:12. Game 1, Delahoy went 1 for 3 out of the leadoff spot for the Bulldogs. Second pitch just misses, 1-1. Casey Stalzer, a junior, pitched in 8 games last year, just a couple of starts. Opponents just hit 192 against him with 3.28 ERA. As there's a nice dropper in there on the breaking pitch, 1-2 to Delahoy, the senior. So Stalzer, good numbers, mainly in relief last year. It looks like at least in the early going this season, he will be utilized as a starter. The 1-2. Up high as a good take by Delahoy. Blaze Rominger, Mitch Wood. 3 scheduled hitters, or the 2 scheduled hitters, I should say, behind Delahoy here for Ottumwa. If you missed our first game, Game 1, Valley a 12-2 win in 5 innings. This late emergency hack knocks it out of play by Delahoy to keep himself alive. Good contact hitter, Delahoy. One of the top offensive players in the lineup for Ottumwa last year. And got to get another baseball in. The umpires will not be carrying baseballs as you're typically used to seeing. Of course, don't want as many hands as possible touching baseball. Just guys from the same team. While Valley is defensive and pitching, Ottumwa will not be allowed to touch or handle a baseball that Valley will be using, and vice versa. The 2-2 on the way. Swing and a miss and strikeout to start this second game for Dominic Delahoy. Defense behind Stalls are here for Game 2. Alex Whitcomb out in left field with Drew Peterson in center and Carson Shelton drawing the start in right. It'll be Garrett Helm at third, Caleb Corbin at short with Tanner Christ at second and Nick Butoff at first. Nick Meyer, the sophomore behind the plate. Casey Stalls, the right-hander, is his battery mate on the hill. Blaze Rominger at the plate, and the first pitch too far inside, maybe a little high, and it's 1-0. Rominger in game number 1, 2 for 3, did score a run, so a good game for him. One of many juniors you're going to see from Ottumwa in this game and all season long. This baseball team has kind of been on the come-up together. Many of these juniors were regulars in the lineup as sophomores last year. 2-0 here to Rominger, and Stalzer delivers. And there's a strike at the knees on the outside corner. It's 2-1. Those shadows we talked about in Game 1 starting to kind of creep into play out in center, right center field. There are some trees and a little hill out there in right field, but outside of being in the outfield, as that's ball 3, unless you're in the outfield, the shadows will not be a factor. At least you wouldn't think until the sun really sets, and maybe some other trees here in between the baseball and softball diamonds will get a little bit more darkness kind of fluttering over this, but the lights probably would be fully in effect at that point anyway. 3-2 now the count here to Rominger. 1 out, nobody on, and the pitch, swing and a miss. Quickly 2 swinging strikeouts for Stalzer here in this top half of the first inning of Game 2. Mitch Wood is his opponent on the hill for Ottumwa, and he's going to bat third here again. Game 1, batting in the 3 spot for Ottumwa. 2 for 3. He also scored a run. Yet another one of this large junior class. 2 seniors, leadoff batter Delahoy, and then Andrew Cole in the 8th spot for Ottumwa. Everybody else in this lineup is a junior for Ottumwa. And honestly, there are more where that came from. The large junior class in this baseball roster, and likely will be utilized to the fullest extent by head coach John Yeager throughout the year. Quickly 2-0 from Stalzer. He has fallen behind here to last couple of batters. Worked his way back into the count against Rominger and was able to get the strikeout. We'll see what he does here against Wood. 2-0. Ground ball up the middle. Diving attempt. And all the way through to center field. And it'll be a 2-out hit for Mitch Wood. Corbin, a good effort from shortstop, but unable to knock it down. And even if he does, likely not going to be able to get the out at first base. And that'll bring up Jesus Jaime. 1 for 3 in the game last time, a couple hours ago. A strikeout on a double play ball on the first couple at bats, but then he showed what his true potential is. I mean, this guy is the best bat in this order. And he hit a 2-run double in his last at-bat, which was the only run-scoring play for Ottumwa in Game 1 of this doubleheader. And he'll take this one down in the dirt. Good stop by Meyer behind the plate, and it's 1-0. Wood running for himself over at first base. Typically for pitchers, you will see courtesy runners, but not at least yet for Wood. He is pitching here in this game for the Bulldogs. This breaker is well low and away, and for the third straight batter, Stalzer finds himself down in the count 2-0. And this is a dangerous batter to be falling behind with. You don't want to give him any meatballs over the heart of the plate because he will punish you. 2-0. Out of the stretch, Stalzer delivers. And that was a perfect pitch on the inside corner. You could not have drawn it up better than that. And Jaime maybe backed up just a little bit, but wasn't going to do much with that ahead in the count either way. 2-1 now, the count to the Ottumwa cleanup hitter. Quick pickoff throw. Woodback diving safely. Wind still blowing a little bit out of center field toward the right field foul pole. It's certainly not the factor it was early on in game one. Righty on righty matchup here. First time out of the stretch for Casey Stalzer. The 2-1. Runner goes. This ball hit high in the air, deep into center field. Backing up is Drew Peterson trying to get a read on it. Kind of swirling out there, and it's off of his glove. Wood's going to score. And Jaime will stop at second, and Ottumwa will take a 1-0 lead. I mentioned the wind, not a lot of a factor, but the way that ball was kind of spinning off the bat of Jaime was kind of pushing it toward that gap in right center field. You'll see that when you hit it into the power alley, we'll see a little bit of a tail on it, and the wind was not helping it there at all to allow Peterson a chance to reel that one in. And it will go down in the book as an RBI double for Jaime, and he's got 3 RBIs the first 2 games of his season so far. And Ottumwa gets a quick lead. Trey Schwartz takes strike 1. Schwartz did not have a good first game, went 0 for 3 with 3 swinging strikeouts, showed some aggressiveness, had a great year last year as a sophomore. Batting 5th here for the Bulldogs, and he hits this one through the hole on the right side. Jaime being told he can try to score. Throw coming home. It's going to be cut off. No throw home. And Jaime will score a little 2-out rally for Ottumwa, and they have a 2-0 lead as Schwartz comes through with an RBI single. Going the other way, just taking the pitch with him. As Adam Denniston, the catcher, is going to step in. Denniston went 0 for 2. He struck out a couple of times swinging in game 1. So Schwartz at first. Ottumwa already has a couple in here in the top of the first inning. Looking to try to salvage a split against Valley on the road. The kick and the delivery. Big curveball. Had Denniston ducking out of the way there. And early in the season, you will see that, especially in the twilight. The batter thinks fastball coming out of the hand, and then the big break brings that back over the plate. And Denniston just had a big smile on his face after he realized what had happened. That pitch outside, a good take. After being badly fooled on the first pitch, Denniston evens the count of 1-0. Schwartz at first after the RBI single. Wood had a single just seeing eye up the middle. Jaime hit a deep fly ball to right center field that almost was tracked down by Drew Peterson. Would have been an excellent play if he would have been able to make that catch. There's a good breaking ball strike. And then after Jaime doubled, Schwartz singled to right field, and Jaime hustling from second, able to score on the play. And Ottumwa with that 2-0 lead. Time called by Denniston after a long set by Stalzer. Digging back in, ready to go. Here's the 1-2. Runner goes. And kind of bailed the back foot out of there, but made contact at Denniston, and it'll keep it at 1-2. Ottumwa is in action against Ankeny at home at Legion Memorial Field down in Ottumwa on Wednesday. That's, at least according to their Quick Stats Iowa schedule, the only game that they have this week the rest of the way, which does, of course, affect the way you're going to use your pitchers. The pitch count rule in effect. If you didn't catch our first game, we'll rehash that as we get a little bit deeper, as these two teams will figure out how to manage their pitchers. But at the very least, both teams know they have tomorrow off, and we'll be back in action on Wednesday, as this pitch does end up over the head of Denniston, and it is 2-2. Ottumwa really making Stalzer work here in this first inning. I mentioned Stalzer did have a good year, although it wasn't in a large role, mainly out of the bullpen last season. But here, a little 2-out rally, a lot of pitches thrown, runner goes. This ground ball through the hole, little hit-and-run action. But the play is right in front of Schwartz. It's shallow left field. He will hold up at second. So 4 consecutive hits for Ottumwa here off Stalzer with 2 outs in the inning, and that'll bring up the 7-hitter, Max Thomason. Thomason We'll wait for Denniston to get his courtesy runner. The courtesy runner is Pedro Gonzalez, a senior. So with Gonzalez at first, Schwartz at second. Good speed aboard. And Thomason at the plate for Ottumwa. And time is called. Looked like it was catcher Nick Meyer behind the plate. Said, let's go ahead and take this time. Thomason, a junior. Getting his first varsity look here for Ottumwa. Did not appear in game one of our doubleheader. First pitch, and that hit the bat. That is unlucky if you're Thomason. He was just ducking out of the way, but that fastball caught the tip of the bat and went foul, so it goes down as a strike despite it being wide, and it's 0-1. 4 consecutive 2-out hits off of Casey Stalzer for Ottumwa. They lead it 2-0 here, top of the first inning. Thomason, ground ball right back to Stalzer. He'll jog it over to first and underhand flip it for the out, and that'll retire the side. But good work by the Ottumwa Bulldogs. Middle of the order finds a way to plate a couple. And after 1/2 inning of play, it's Ottumwa 2 and Valley coming to bat right after this on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Toes the rubber for the Ottumwa Bulldogs as we get set for game 2 on Valley's half, at least of the first inning. Ottumwa plates 2 runs on a little 4-hit, 2-out rally off of Casey Stalzer. Alex Whitcomb, Caleb Corbin, Nick Budoff, the 3 scheduled batters to face Mitch Wood. Last year, Wood, one of Ottumwa's best on the hill, mainly used in relief. Just went 1-1 in 8 appearances as a sophomore, but in his 10th and 2/3 innings of work, an incredible 1.97 ERA, a WHIP of just 1.31. He struck out 18, allowed just 11 walks, and opponents hit just .065 against him. That's hard to believe. He only allowed 3 hits and 46 opponent at-bats. 3 earned runs against him in those 10 and 2/3 innings of work. So this is a guy that Ottumwa will be leaning on, you would figure, to be one of their big horses on the hill throughout this year, and they'd love to get a good start with him, and they spot him a lead. In fact, he got the 2-out rally started in the top half of the first with a seeing eye single up the middle, and has found a way to, before he throws a pitch this year, his team has given him a lead. Alex Whitcomb comes to the bat for Valley, having a good first game. 2 for 4, 3 runs scored, a couple of runs driven in for the senior left fielder. Talk about Ottumwa and how junior-laden they are. Very, very junior-heavy. And while they're junior-heavy, Valley's senior-heavy. 7 of their 9 batters here in this game are seniors, just center fielder Drew Peterson and number 9 hitter, the catcher Nick Meyer, who's a sophomore. Those are the only 2 guys that are not seniors in the batting order here for head coach Ryan Cooley. First pitch, a ball to Alex Whitcomb as we start the bottom half of this first inning. Wood out of the windup, fires. That's off the outside corner, 2-0. If you're going back, I mentioned a lot of pitches were having to be thrown by Casey Stalzer. He already threw 29 pitches in the first inning for Valley. These guys that start the game likely were factored in as that one called low. It's 3-0 to the first batter here. But these starters, you likely would figure they're going to be throwing close to that 65 pitch range, which is that 3 or 4 day line, as there's a strike to Whitcomb from Wood. The reason that's important, both these teams have games on Wednesday, so if these players throw over 40 pitches, they will be unavailable to use Wednesday, but could be back by Friday for their games. Ottumwa does not play Friday. They don't play again until next week after Wednesday's matchup against Ankeny. As there's ball 4. First batter walks. That's Whitcomb. Good runner is Whitcomb as well. 3 for 5 in steals, but certainly can motor around the bases when given the opportunity. Caleb Corbin, who went 4 for 4 in game 1, steps in. Number 2 hitter, good contact guy last year as well, but 1 run scored, 3 runs driven in with that 4 for 4 outing in our first game tonight. First pitch to him. Strike call. So pretty easy for the Ottumwa coaches in terms of pitch count. If the pitcher throws more than 40 pitches, he can't be used Wednesday. Other than that, everybody will be reset for next week regardless. Even if you use pitchers pretty heavily on Wednesday this week, as that ball hit well out in the left field, taking an interesting route and getting by Andrew Cole in left field. He will corral it. He's going to fire it to the shortstop, but there won't be a play at the plate. It's coming all the way around to score is Alex Whitcomb. So Peterson looked like he had a decent read on it, but it had a little bit more pop than I think the sound of the bat lent itself to. You kind of have to use the sound and the way that the ball lifts off the bat all at the same time, and that certainly was a tough read. Corbin will get credit for a double as Peterson tried to make an adjustment and reach over the top at the last moment, but unable to do so, and quickly Valley gets on the scoreboard as Whitcomb scores from first on the double by Corbin, who is now 5 for 5 to start his season out of the 2-hole. First pitch misses here to Buttolph. Close pitch down at the knees, and it is 1-0. Wood working out of the stretch after the leadoff walk. We mentioned in terms of earned runs, and that was an earned run. He only allowed 3 earned runs last year in over 10 innings of work. But these first few games of the season, first couple of outings for everybody, try to get. Quickly 3-0 to Buttolph. First base is open, but I'm sure Wood here isn't trying to intentionally put a runner on. Not this early anyway. And that misses. Couple of close ones outside, but no luck in getting a strike call there, and that'll bring up Stalzer, his opponent, on the mound. Now Wood, in the first inning for Ottumwa, was able to get a hit off Stalzer and start a little 2-out rally. We'll see if Stalzer can repay the favor with a runner on first and second and nobody out here in the Valley half of the first. Jaime over at third base gets level with the grass, level with the bag, as does Trey Schwartz at first base. He's playing in on the grass, thinking maybe there could be a bunt out of the cleanup spot here as that pitch came in high 1-0. If you're thinking Stalzer to bunt out of the cleanup spot, he did have one sacrifice bunt last year. Not sure now his righty versus lefty matchup probably favors the batter a little bit, but we'll see. Is that one in there for a strike? And it's 1-1. 1 for 3 in the first game. Pardon. Stalzer was 0 for 3 in the first game. Make that 2 for 4. He was batting in the 5 spot. He's now in the 4 spot. He swings and misses here. 2 for 4 with a run scored and 2 RBIs for Stalzer, including the 2 RBIs that ended up finishing the game in the 5th. What was a 12-2 Valley win. 1-2 the count from Wood. Double play depth up the middle, and that one hits him. So he did have 2 strikes on him, but that one he pulled a little bit, got Stalzer in the back. He's able to take his base. And there will be a coaching visit out there on the hill as Wood has the bases loaded. We will get a courtesy runner over there first, and it looks like Nick Hobson will be that guy. So the courtesy runner for the pitcher is Nick Hobson. Scheduled batter is Drew Peterson for Valley. Runner at third base is Caleb Corbin. Runner at second is Nick Buttolph. Buttolph, by the way, didn't get to his numbers in Game 1. Buttolph 1 for 3 with a run scored. Here in Game 2, drew a walk. So a walk, a double deep into left field. A walk and then a hit by pitch. 1 in, 3 on. And now it looks like we have a lineup issue as the umpires have told Hobson to go back to the dugout. And Stalzer comes back to take first base. Coach Ryan Cooley talking with the 2 umpires. Down over by the third base line. Of course, courtesy runner rule instituted for pitchers and catchers only. Unlimited number of returns. A player that gets lifted can come back once, just one time. Now they're going to get Coach Yeager out of the Ottumwa dugout. First game for the coaches and umpires, too. Got to keep that in mind. There are a couple of little rule changes from year to year that will take a few games to kind of get back in the hang of, especially these coaches have probably studied it but haven't been able to see these players until June 1st. And it looks like Stalzer will just run for himself here, at least at this point. Corners are still on the edge of the infield here with nobody out. On the ball hit to them, they're going to come home. And the first pitch hits Peterson, and a run will come in. So Mitch Wood having some issues here control-wise in this first inning. And it is tied at 2. And still nobody out here for Valley as the 6-hitter Garrett Helm, who did not play in the first game, will come to the plate. Helm last year appeared in 14 games, went 5 for 12, pretty impressive, 417 the average. 533 was his on-base percentage. He did have a couple of runs knocked in a limited role as a junior last year. Now a senior playing third base in this game. His first pitch is up high, 1-0. Talked about Wood. You know, the numbers last year indicate that this guy's will be definitely leaned on heavily for Ottumwa this year, but just trying to get his bearings about him here in this first inning against Valley. A little bit of action over in the Ottumwa bullpen. Looks like Tyler Shark, a junior, is starting to throw, a lefty. That pitch inside, and it's 3-0. Early in the season, you will see this. Some pitchers just having a hard time finding the location as they see live hitters that aren't guys on their team for the first time of the season, especially with no exhibition games, as that pitch misses, and it's a 4-pitch walk. It's the third walk issued this inning. The Valley has been able to draw patience at the plate, paying off. And it is now 3-2 Valley, still nobody out, and runners occupying all 3 bases, and now Ottumwa has pulled the entire infield in. And on a ground ball anywhere, likely going to see if they can't make a play at home. Number 7 here is Carson Shelton, another senior, playing right field. And he looks at one outside, 1-0. Shelton, at least by my tallies, did not appear in a varsity game last year. This is a ground ball. They're going to come home with it. They'll get it out there, and catcher Denniston will squeeze it, not risk a throw down to first base. Smart move. They get the force out 6-2 as Stalzer is cut down at home on the force out. And that's why you play the infield in, and now the middle infield at least will go try to turn 2 up the middle while the corners will still stay on the grass. Ground ball hit to either first or third. They'll come home again for a force out. Maybe try to turn 2. Shelton, fielder's choice. First pitch, Tanner Christ is a ball, 1-0. Tanner Christ is senior, second baseman, appeared as a courtesy runner in the first game. Last year appeared in 29 games, mainly as a courtesy runner as well, but did get 67 at-bats. Hit 224 was the average, 246 was the on base. Definitely a guy that they like what he can do with the bat, especially running the bases, but did not draw a walk and struck out 9 times. So certainly a guy in his senior season going to try to up those offensive numbers. Swing and fouls this one, chops it foul, and it's 1-2. 1 out, bases loaded here for Valley. They lead it 3-2. I mean, realistically, if Wood can get out of here with just the 3 runs or maybe even a 4th run scoring, that's pretty solid damage control considering the control that he's been trying to reel in here in this first inning. The 1-2 on the way from Wood to Christ. That ball hit high into center field, shallow, running in and unable to make a diving catch is Colton McKinnon. Everybody will move up 1. They're going to try to send a second runner home. The throw to the plate, not going to be in time. Aggressive base running and coaching by Coach Ryan Cooley, sending Helm from second, and he's able to slide in as the relay throw just not quite in time. And give Christ credit for an RBI single. So we talked about it, a guy that's looking to improve his offensive numbers, his offensive tallies, and he does so here with a 2-strike count. And he'll get 2 RBIs on the play. Shelton held up at second base. And now we've batted around has Valley. With runners on first and second, the 1 out. And it's now 5-0 Valley. Sophomore Nick Meyer takes a ball inside, 1-0. Meyer is catching the second game. Not sure, likely at least from what we've understood, he was scheduled to catch this game. But Bobby Cobine, we do have to mention, got injured on his last at-bat as he was trying to run from first down to first base after hitting a single into center field and had to limp off with some assistance. But at least from what we were being told, Meyer was the scheduled catcher for this second game. Just a sophomore, the only underclassman we've seen from either side. Ottumwa was very sophomore heavy last year, and all those guys are juniors now, including 7 guys in the field right now. This the lone sophomore for Valley in the lineup, and this pitch is inside, and it's 2-0. Wood continues to try to harness his pitches. 5 runs and just 2 hits, 3 walks, a couple of hit batters, and a fielder's choice. And runner now taking third base, and it'll be a balk. As the runner from second, Carson Shelton, just started taking off for third, and Wood, as he came set, as he looked back to the runner, was an illegal move coming off the rubber, so that allows the runner from first, Tanner Christ, to take second as well. So now the infield again will come in pretty much halfway all the way around. The 2-0. That ball hit high and foul down the left field line. Long run, maybe playable, but Andrew Cole hustling over there. It would have been an incredible catch had he got there, but gave it an effort, and it'll just land for a harmless strike. 2-1. Meyer, right-handed batter, sees 2 runners in scoring position. His team already has 5 across. The 2-1. And that's fouled straight back. And it's 2-2. Wood, again, just doing everything he can to try to limit the damage here as Shark continues to warm his left arm up in the Ottumwa bullpen. Wood going through the windup with runners on second and third. The delivery. It's a ground ball to the right side. This should be able to score the run, but it gets through. Thomason at second, and that'll allow a second run to score. And 7-2. Valley with the lead as we swing back across to the top of the order. With runners in motion, always a distracting situation as we will get Hobson to run at first base for Meyer this time. Nick Hobson officially is the courtesy runner for the catcher Meyer. Goes in the book E4. RBI will be given to Meyer for the first run. And an adjustment will be made as Ottumwa will make a pitching change after 9 batters. We'll step aside as we'll give you Tyler Shark and what he's going to bring to the table next. It's Valley 7, Ottumwa 2 right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and as winter finally lets go, I'm sure your thoughts are turning to outdoors just like mine. And we've got the furniture to make your spring and summer the best ever. We've got furniture from domestic manufacturers as well as imports, and I've got a lot of it in stock. We're showing 120 sets on the floor, the best we've ever had. Please come see us for your outdoor furniture needs at Fireplace Superstore. For great deals on great furniture, come to Fireplace Superstore.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Tyler Shark is the lefty warming up for Ottumwa, a junior. Shark last year as a sophomore appeared in just 1 game, pitched 1 inning, saw 3 batters, and got all 3 batters out. Very small sample size, but for this junior, he's going to be asked to come on in a situation where 7 runs are already in and a runner is at first base. Nick Hobson running for the catcher, Nick Meyer. Mitch Wood is responsible for that runner at first base, and I'm sure an outing that he'll be looking to build off of in some ways as he moves forward. He did throw 31 pitches and theoretically would be available to pitch on Wednesday, which probably had something to do with Ottumwa making this move after 9 batters, but also, just could not quite harness control with 7 runs in here. And still in the first, we're back to the top of the order. And Alex Whitcomb, who led this game off with a 5-pitch walk and a run scored, he will take a ball outside, and it's 1-0. Shark bringing that left-handed look, first lefty we've seen from either side in this doubleheader. He's working straight out of the stretch. That one's a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. The adjustment that we think was made, I'm going to have to get confirmation on this, but Mitch Wood goes from pitching to second base. Thomason comes out of the game and entering as quick pickoff throw over to first base. Not in time, Hobson dives in. Tyler Shark will take over in the batting order, at least from what we think has been taking place into the 7th slot in the order. This is foul tipped straight back. And it's 1-1. Still just 1 out. 7 in on 2 hits. 1 defensive error so far and a runner on base. 10th batter of the inning here in Whitcomb. Dominic Delahoy remains at shortstop. Delahoy played second while Wood was playing shortstop in the first game, but it looks like they're going to let those guys stay flip-flop for now up the middle for Ottumwa. This one pops straight up. Wind will move that a little bit. Wood trying to play with it, gets underneath it, and stabs it, makes a catch for the out. When that ball is straight up and it's got that spin, you can't really tell which way it's going to go until it's on its way down. And Wood did a good job of making the adjustment last minute and squeezing it for the second out. So with now 2 away and a runner still on first with Hobson, it is Caleb Corbin who doubled and scored a run earlier this inning. Big lead over at first base, but swing and a miss, almost drilling himself into the ground there was Corbin, but high confidence level as a quick throw back behind the runner at first base, not in time. I told you, as big a lead as Hobson had over there, you would think that he would draw a throw either from the pitcher or catcher, but Corbin took a big hack, maybe as big as he's got in the toolbox and came up empty on that pitch from Shark. 0-1 the count. Runner goes. That's high. The throw down to second base. It hops in there. Good dig by Wood, but not able to apply a tag to Hobson. 1-1 the count to Corbin. Credit the steal for Hobson, his first of the season. And he gets himself in a scoring position here. 3 walks, couple hit batsmen. Fielder's choice, 2 hits, including a double by Caleb Corbin earlier this frame, and he's up now with the runner on second and 2 outs. The 1-1. That's up and in. 2-1. The intensity of the sun not as fierce as it was during the first game, and shadows from those trees in between the 2 diamonds, kind of up on the hill next to this field, starting to kind of creep across the infield, so that might play a little bit of a factor between the pitcher and batters, as there's a curveball flared into foul territory right side, no chance to make a play. Corbin now 2-2 the count. It's always a little bit difficult as a batter seeing the ball in the light and then immediately enter the shadows on the way to the plate. It can make it a little bit more difficult to make accurate contact, but as far as game is right now, both teams are going to have to deal with it probably for the next inning or so. This ball hit shallow center field, coming on, trying to make a catch, and the ball bounces in front of the center fielder McKinnon. Now, see, that was a knuckler. The first one that was hit earlier this inning, as Corbin will get credit for an RBI single and a run scores. Hobson from second. What's interesting about that is the first hit actually had a little bit more pop on it than the left fielder Andrew Cole thought it did, and had to try to make a last-minute adjustment, ended up behind him. This one looked like it was hit a little bit harder off the bat than it actually was, and ended up dying in front of McKinnon, who was trying to sprint and make a running, sliding catch out there in center field. This ball hit high and deep. Cole trying to make a play on it in the outfield. Comes on, is there, makes the catch to retire the side. But 12 players go to the plate in the first inning for Valley. 8 runs score. And after 1 inning of play, it is Tigers 8, Bulldogs 2 right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Ottumwa able to scratch across a couple of 2-out runs in the top of the first, but Valley immediately answers with 8 in their half of the first inning. And Casey Stalzer is going to get another crack at it with a lead here. As he goes to the mound, he'll see 8, 9, and 1. Andrew Cole, Colton McKinnon, and Dominic Delahoy, the 3 scheduled hitters for Ottumwa here in their half of the second. Book finally closed on Mitch Wood. He faced 9 batters, just got 1 out, 2 hits, 8 runs, 7 ended up being earned with 3 walks, no strikeouts. But he only threw 31 pitches, 19 balls, 12 strikes. Really struggled with the control, but at least as far as pitch count rules apply, he should be available for Wednesday's doubleheader against Ankeny to try to get back out there and get himself going. And again, I mean, he only allowed 3 earned runs all of last season. Didn't really have a problem with walks, but just an outing that he just could not find that sweet spot with his, really any of his pitches, and that's why you saw 19 balls and just 12 strikes. Valley didn't really have to put a whole lot in play. 3 walks, 2 hit batsmen in the first 7 batters. And eventually they were able to scratch across 8 runners across the plate with 12 guys coming to the plate. So now Stalzer going to be tasked for the next few innings is protecting what is now a 6-run lead. First pitch to the 8-hitter, senior Andrew Cole, swing and a miss, 0-1. Cole in the first game, 0 for 2 at the plate. A couple of looking strikeouts. Both of them were really tough calls for him. He was up there and knew what he was looking for, but that outside corner was not being gifted by the home plate umpire. At least to him. It was close. And again, that one, a little bit of a wider corner on him, and he's now in the hole 0-2. Try to get used to and adjusted to these strike zones, and as a batter up there, the pitcher is getting both sides of the plate a little bit wider, and doesn't do you a whole lot of favors, as that one is a little far outside, and it is 1-2. The forecast for Stalzer, at least for how many pitches we expected to see from him, he could go up to 90 pitches and still be available for Friday's game. Is that pitch inside, and it does get a piece of him. It got the bill of the cap, got the bill of the helmet, even though it was caught by Nick Meyer behind the plate. You did kind of hear a little tick, and it did just clip the helmet. So a hit by pitch puts Cole on to start the inning, and 9-hitter Colton McKinnon comes up. He was 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts second in the first game of this doubleheader. Umpires will do a quick meeting and agree that there was contact to the helmet on that pitch, even if it was slight. Any contact at all puts the runner on. So you don't have to have any rest if you throw 25 or less pitches as a pitcher. When you throw somewhere between 26 and 40 pitches, is that one a swing and a miss? 0-1. 26 or 40 pitches, you have 1 day of rest. 40 or less pitches, basically, for these guys that we're seeing tonight, they will be available on Wednesday, and that includes Mitch Wood, who threw just 31 pitches in his start today. The 0-1 here to McKinnon, swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Have to take 2 days off if you throw anywhere between 41 to 65 pitches, which would make you available Thursday. Neither of these teams play Thursday. And you have to have 3 days off if you throw between 66 and 90 pitches. So if you have anywhere in that window for a Valley pitcher, he wouldn't be available until Friday when they play Lincoln. As there's a called third strike and a stolen base by Cole. He is safely in at second. But a looking strikeout. Set third strikeout so far for Stalzer. And that's the first out. Runner on second is Cole, and that'll bring up Dominic Delahoy. Delahoy struck out swinging first time up in the first. Now, if your pitcher somehow goes beyond 90, your 10th through 12th grader goes 91 to 110 pitches, he's not available for 4 full days off, which is your typical Major League Baseball schedule with 4 rest days in between starts. 0-1 here to Delahoy. Here's a strike at the very top part of the zone. Delahoy says, not sure about that, but strike it goes on the scoreboard at least. 1 out, runner on second. And the delivery. And strike 3 on the inside corner, and Delahoy, much like some of the other Ottumwa hitters in this doubleheader, is kind of wondering what they're supposed to do with as much grace being given behind home plate. But we don't have as good a view as they do down there, and that's strikeout number 4 for Stalzer. Shadows firmly in between the mound and the plate. In fact, it looks as there's an excellent breaking ball in there to Rominger by Stalzer, and it's 0-1. Looks like the mound also is kind of encompassed in the shadows. So basically, from the mound all the way through the home plate area, covered in those shadows in the trees, probably going to be the case for the rest of the night until we have no sunset. As there's a swing and a miss, ball's loose. Good read over there by Andrew Cole at second base, and as soon as that ball squirted away, he was on his way to third. No throw. I'm going to list that as a pass ball, but got to give credit to Cole for his heads-up base running, and he stands 90 feet away here, but an 0-2 count to Rominger nonetheless. He struck out swinging last inning as well. And the pitch, half swing, but he went around, strike 3 called. So he gets 3 straight strikeouts after the hit batter. 5 strikeouts in the first 2 innings for Stalzer, and we'll head to the bottom of the second. Valley, an 8-2 lead over Ottumwa here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and as winter finally lets go, I'm sure your thoughts are turning to outdoors just like mine. And we've got the furniture to make your spring and summer the best ever. We've got furniture from domestic manufacturers as well as imports, and I've got a lot of it in stock. We're showing 120 sets on the floor, the best we've ever had. Please come see us for your outdoor furniture needs at Fireplace Superstore. For great deals on great furniture, come to Fireplace Superstore.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Tyler Shark comes on for his first full inning of work, we would assume. A little bit of action still going down over in the Ottumwa bullpen. Thomas Mitchell, a junior, has shown that he's throwing, but we'll see. I'm sure we'll see plenty of Ottumwa arms just at least getting loose just in case they are needed. Second inning of work after 12 batters got to the plate for Valley in the first inning. It'll be Casey Stalzer, the cleanup hitter, to lead off, and he swings through that breaking ball. Lefty on lefty here. 0-1. Stalzer was hit square in the back by a Mitch Wood pitch back in the first. And he would stay in the game and would be eventually taken down at home plate. As there's a nice catch by Blaze Rominger, roaming over into foul territory on the right side. It's a good running catch by him for the first out. Drew Peterson, Matt, he first pitch he saw, he was hit as well. Actually, Noah Least gonna get the call here. So Least is gonna, Peterson was the batter who was hit. Least fires a ball into the gap in right center field. That'll drop. Big turn from Least, and he's gonna try second base. Throw is wide of the mark, and he'll get in standing up. So Least, an excellent show of some pop into the power alley on the first pitch he sees. And then the hustle. Turn it into a double. One out, runner on second. Garrett Helm is the batter. First pitch, up and away, 1-0. Helm drew a walk in the first inning and eventually would score. Saw some aggressive base running in this doubleheader so far by Valley. And they've had some players that were tagged out or got cut down at the plate as this big swing and a miss from Helm. The one that got cut down on the plate in that first inning, Stalzer, was a force out as the bases were loaded and the ground ball straight to the shortstop, Delahoy, who made a strong throw home. One and one the count here to Helm. And get some contact on it. Popped up, right side, over by the Valley dugout. It will be in the dugout. One and two the count. Good hustle shown by Trey Schwartz and Adam Dennison, the catcher. Trying to get over there, but they had no play. Even if they were over there in time, it's a little too deep onto that dugout or in that dugout to really make an extension reach and make what would be a highlight reel catch otherwise. 1 ball, 2 strikes with the 1 out and runner on at second. Helm awaits the delivery out of the stretch. And that was an excellent pitch, kind of fading away. A little changeup action there from Shark, the lefty, and gets a swinging strikeout for out number 2. First strikeout for Shark in relief. Carson Shelton grounded into a fielder's choice first time up, would score a run. And he digs in with a runner at second. It's Least. The delivery. That ball hit high in the air. Shallow right field. Backing up is Wood, the second baseman. He's got it on the grass, and that'll retire the side. Ottumwa gets out of it unscathed here in the second. We'll head to the third. 8-2 Valley over the Bulldogs here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Valley cycling through some pitchers here. Oliver Parizek is going to be given the ball. Parizek was in the field playing second base in the first game, but now will pitch. Least is out in left field for Valley. Peterson, who was in center, was lifted for the pinch hitter. So with Least out in left, it looks like Alex Whitcomb is in center. We will have to clarify. Tough to see the Valley numbers from this far away, as it'll be 3, 4, 5 here for Ottumwa in their half of the third. First pitch hit high, deep into right field. Going back is Shelton. This is a long run for him near the wall. It's going to bounce in front of the wall. Wood on his way to second. He takes a look. He thought about third. He'll pull up at second base. And on the first pitch, Mitch Wood gets himself his second hit of the game with a hard hit double down the right field line. Wood's got himself 4 consecutive hits in his last 4 at-bats here tonight. So Oliver Parizek gets greeted on the first pitch with that. Parizek, as a sophomore last year, did appear in 4 games as a pitcher, went 2-0, did throw 16 innings worth, and was good. .88 the ERA, under 1. A .63 whip, and opponents hit just 145 against him. So he had about as good a sophomore season with limited action as you could have asked for. With all that being said, Mitch Wood doubles on the first pitch Parizek throws here. And a couple of balls here to the dangerous Jesus Jaime. Jaime doubled deep in the right center field first time. Got an RBI and would score a run. Biggest bat of this Ottumwa order. Parizek does get the strike call here at the knees, 2-1. Casey Stalzer, after 2 really strong innings, despite giving up a couple of runs, someone hit him pretty hard in there in the middle of that first inning, but was pretty efficient, had 5 strikeouts in the 6 outs that he got. We'll get to his numbers momentarily. Parizek, after stepping off, kind of looking at the runner. Wood at second base. This ball high in the air, deep. Whitcomb going back on his horse, deep. Makes a nice catch. Having to retreat, gets it back in, no advancement. We talked about that 395 just feeling really deep here. It kind of settles into this spot. 395 is like, I mean, you got 305 down the lines. It is like, you would think with 395 in center, about 325, 330 would probably be a little bit more normal for this setup. But center field is so much deeper than the corners are. It really looks like a triangle out here. And that was hit to the deepest part of the park by Jaime. And an excellent job by Whitcomb out there. I believe it's Whitcomb out there in center field who tracked that down on the back pedal and got it back in quickly before Wood was able to take a tag up and move to third. This pitch up high to Trey Swartz. Swartz singled the other way out in the right field, drove in a run back in the first. The 1-0. That ball's hit hard, left center field. That ball is going to be tracked down again by Wickham. He's going to throw back to second. And Wood has to retreat again. Another really hard hit ball by Ottumwa. This one from Schwartz. Man, we have seen some action out there in center field. So despite having a couple of balls about as hard hit as you can have, there's enough hang time on them for the center fielder Wickham to make the catch. And that'll bring up Adam Denniston, who takes a ball inside and 1-0. Denniston singled out in the left field first time up as well. The 1-0 on the way. 2 outs and a runner on second for Ottumwa here. Top of the third inning. Runner goes. That ball, there's not going to be enough air to get down on that one. And that's going to be at least a single. Big turn from Denniston, but he's going to retreat. Getting to it quickly again as Wickham out there in center. And Denniston will get an RBI and his second hit of the ball game. So Ottumwa hitting it pretty good here as Pedro Gonzalez will once again re-enter as the courtesy runner. Ottumwa getting some good metal on these at-bats. The double by Wood, the flyouts by Jaime and Schwartz. But then the RBI single from Denniston does get Ottumwa on the board here in the third, and they trail at 8-3. Final numbers on Casey Stalls are 2 innings of work, 4 hits allowed, 2 runs, both were earned, no walks, 5 strikeouts. He did throw 42 pitches. Will not be available Wednesday for action. 29 strikes and 13 balls. Pretty efficient, despite giving up 4 straight hits in that first inning. First at-bat here for Tyler Shark on the left-handed side. Kind of a half-hearted swing there on the breaking pitch from Parizek, and it's a strike. Max Thomason grounded back to the pitcher out of this spot. And after Wood was lifted as the pitcher, Wood stayed in the game. Thomason came out from his spot. He started out a second. Parizek out of the stretch. This one a curveball well inside. Quick look to first from Meyer. No throw, and count is 2-1. The sun is kind of starting to set over the trees permanently. Shadows strewn all over the infield and outfield now. And the temperature certainly has cooled off a solid 10 degrees, you'd think, from first pitch in Game 1 a few hours back. This popped up, could be playable left side. It is playable, and Garrett Helm, the third baseman, gets it on the foul out, and that'll retire the side. But Ottumwa does play to run on the RBI hit by Adam Denniston, and after 2.5, it's Valley 8, Ottumwa 3 here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and as winter finally lets go, I'm sure your thoughts are turning to outdoors just like mine. And we've got the furniture to make your spring and summer the best ever. We've got furniture from domestic manufacturers as well as imports, and I've got a lot of it in stock. We're showing 120 sets on the floor, the best we've ever had. Please come see us for your outdoor furniture needs at Fireplace Superstore. For great deals on great furniture, come to Fireplace Superstore.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Tanner Chris, Nick Meyer, and Alex Wickham are the 3 scheduled hitters here for Valley in the bottom of the third. And they'll face Tyler Shark, the lefty, on for another inning of work. Looked good last inning, although gave up a double to Noah Least, who came in as a pinch hitter. We'll see what kind of lineup adjustments Valley might make throughout here as Oliver Parizek threw his first inning of work, and now he immediately goes to the bullpen. There's apparently a pitch or two he wants to try to find. And he's now throwing some more pitches out in the bullpen. Ottumwa did get some good bat work on him. 2 of their most powerful bats, and Jesus Jaime and Trey Schwartz hit bombs out to center and left center field respectively, but they were tracked down by the Valley center fielder, who we believe was Alex Wickham. It was hard to tell out there with their black jerseys and their orange numbers, but out there ranging back and then to his right, making excellent catches to rob extra base hits from the Ottumwa Bulldog middle of the order hitters. As Tanner Chris swings and misses at the first pitch here, starting the third inning. Valley still with an 8-3 lead. Good opportunity here for Shark to continue to try to quiet these Valley bats. This one well outside 1-1. It's a really nice night here in central Iowa as the sun continues to set. That heat and those UV rays kind of settling down as this ball hit pretty well out in the left field. And Andrew Cole will come on and make the catch in the gap for the first out as Christ is retired. And that'll bring up sophomore Nick Meyer, who's behind the plate here in game number 2. Meyer reached on a fielding error out back in the first inning. It's his second look at it. And he hits this one on a rope out in the left field. Cole coming on. Doesn't have to move a whole lot this time, and it's right at him for the second out. So good swing from Meyer. But Cole was positioned perfectly, able to make the easy catch for the second out of the inning. And now it's Whitcomb. So Alex Whitcomb put on a defensive display out there in center. Making a great catch, moving back on the Jesus Jaime ball deep into that big 395, just shy of the warning track. And then made a nice ranging catch on a ball that Trey Schwartz hit toward the gap in left center field to rob him of extra bases on back-to-back batters. 2-0 to him here. His third look at the plate. In his first plate appearance, drew a walk, ended up scoring, and then popped up to second back in the first. He's 0 for 1. 2-0 to him. 2 outs, nobody on here in the Valley half of the third. Lefty junior Tyler Shark delivers the 2-0. That's popped up right center field. It's carrying out there, and center fielder Colton McKinnon makes the call. He's got the ball. A quick 1-2-3 inning, and Tyler Shark eating up some innings in an efficient way here for Ottumwa. We'll head to the fourth. 8-3 Valley over the Bulldogs here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Little bit over an hour since we started this second game. Oliver Parizek out for his second inning of work. So Valley scores 8 runs in the first inning. Ottumwa brings in Tyler Shark, a junior left-hander out of the bullpen, able to find himself a couple of quick innings here. Valley still with an 8-3 lead, however, and Parizek will see 8-9-1 of the Ottumwa order here. Andrew Cole will be the first batter. He was hit on the bill of the helmet. Barely got a piece of him, and he graciously took his base a couple of innings ago and sees a strike on the outside edge of the outside corner, 0-1. Just a couple of strips in right field and left field that are kind of dodging the shadows at this point. A little bit of sunlight left as the sun keeps setting. We are just a few days away from the longest day of the year in terms of how long the sun will be out, the summer solstice. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2 here to Cole. But it's good to have baseball and softball back summer in Iowa. There's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. I mentioned it's really unusual for a guy who's actually pitching in the game in the middle of his outing to go to the bullpen and throw some warm-up pitches, and that's exactly what Oliver Parizek did. While Valley was taking their at-bats, only 7 pitches needed by Shark to get through the bottom of the third, but while that was going on, Parizek was throwing some warm-up pitches of his own in the bullpen. Apparently didn't like how one of his pitches was working, so just did a little tweak and is going to try to bring it back here a little bit here in his second inning of work. 2-0 the count here to Colton McKinnon, the number 9 hitter. Went down on strikes looking back in the second inning. Ottumwa does have 6 hits in the game. Valley just 4, but Foxen hit by pitches. Also scored back in that very busy 8-run first inning that Valley was able to put on the board. 2-1. 1 out, nobody on. McKinnon gets the edge of the bat on this one. It's popped up, foul ground, long run, but on the track making the catch is Nick Butoff at first base for the second out. There is quite a bit of foul ground here toward the dugout, so you're able to see both Helm and now Butoff on the corners of the infield here for Valley, making plays ranging well into foul ground. The way that it's kind of angular here with the dugouts down the lines. And there is quite a bit of space on a ball hit into the air to be able to make a play like that. Dominic Delahoy, the leadoff man for the Bulldogs, comes up with 2 outs and nobody on and swings and misses at the first pitch. In this second game, he's 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts. Both of those at-bats, though, came against the game's starter, Casey Stalzer. 1-1 on that pitch in the dirt. There's good experience here for Nick Meyer as well, the sophomore catcher. Get a couple of different pitchers to throw his stuff in a game scenario, try to work on his plate work behind the plate. That one up letter high for a ball, 2-1. Hanson Family Field, just south of Valley Stadium, softball, Ottumwa and Valley. Ottumwa and Valley both really top-notch softball programs, both ranked. There's a nice breaking ball for a strike, 2-2. Also see those our family of broadcasts throughout the season. Central Iowa Sports Network, CISN.TV, and that's just fair. And Delahoy hustles down the line, but Butoff able to scoop it, take it to the bag himself, and another 1-2-3 inning. Halfway home, through 3.5, it's 8-3 at Valley over at Ottumwa on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and as winter finally lets go, I'm sure your thoughts are turning to outdoors just like mine. And we've got the furniture to make your spring and summer the best ever. We've got furniture from domestic manufacturers as well as imports, and I've got a lot of it in stock. We're showing 120 sets on the floor, the best we've ever had. Please come see us for your outdoor furniture needs at Fireplace Superstore. For great deals on great furniture, come to Fireplace Superstore.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Ottumwa back out on the field. Tyler Stark going to try to give another good inning of work. He's only thrown 25 pitches in what is 2 2/3 innings so far. Mentioned if he's going to be available for Wednesday's game, he's got to stay under 40. We'll see how Ottumwa wants to handle that, but the way he's throwing, you might just want to try to get him through the rest of this game and not have to use any more arms. Obviously, personal preference, how many arms that you want to keep available for Wednesday as Ankeny comes to Ottumwa. Ottumwa will have their home opener Wednesday in a doubleheader at Legion Memorial Field in Ottumwa Park down in southeast Iowa. Valley will be hosting Roosevelt on Wednesday, and then they're back in action again on Friday as they will travel to take on Des Moines Lincoln on the south side of Des Moines. As Caleb Corbin comes to the plate, he's 2 for 2. In fact, he's 6 for 6 in the first 2+ games, or 1+ games. First pitch, big breaker. That's curves around the outside part of the plate. That's ball. I really like the off-speed stuff we've seen from Shark, though. Coming from the left-hand side. Comes with a little bit more heat, and that just misses low, and it's 2-0. Corbin doubled and RBI and scored a run on a ball that was hit well to start the first. That pitch fouled out of play. It's 2-1. Later in the first, he came back up and hit a ball that looked like it was hit pretty well, but instead it was kind of a dying quail out in center field and dropped in front of the center fielder Colton McKinnon, and also plated another run. 6 plate appearances, 6 hits so far for Caleb Corbin. This delivery and this ball fouled out of play as well, and it's 2-2. Ottumwa, at least on the QuickStatsIowa.com schedule, just has the one other doubleheader this week. Won't be back in action again until next week. So in terms of utilizing arms, trying to get themselves back into what will be, after this first week, you're really going to see these teams playing a lot of games in a short amount of time, but also spaced out enough as that ball hit hard by Corbin out in the center field. Nice ranging catch by McKinnon out in the left center field. And that's the first time Ottumwa's been able to get Corbin out, but you see some good center field play on both sides. Alex Whitcomb, a couple of great plays a couple innings ago, and now McKinnon ranging to his right and back to take extra bases away from Caleb Corbin. Entire field now encompassing those shadows. The sun continues to set here in West Des Moines. Lights are on. A little bit of night baseball here. As the first pitch, a strike to the 3-hitter, Nick Butoff. Butoff walked and scored in the first. Later in the first, came up and flew out to left fielder Andrew Cole. The 0-1 on the way from the lefty Shark. That one just misses, and it's 1-1. Shark's lefty delivery is down and in, 2-1. The 2-1. In there, a nice big breaker in there for a strike, and with 2-2 the count, 1 out. Base is empty here for Valley in their half of the fourth. Shark looking for the out pitch. That one just curves around the outside, and it's full, 3-2. Nobody throwing actively, at least in the Ottumwa bullpen. The 3-2 on the way. That just high. And it's ball 4. It's the first walk issued in relief here for Shark. He's allowed a couple of hits, but other than that, has been pretty spotless since coming on in the first inning in relief of Mitch Wood. That'll bring up Casey Stalzer, who is playing basically as a DH right now. There's a rule adjustment in baseball. He's listed as the DH, but also can pitch. It's something that you do see quite a bit in softball, like a designated player position. And he singles right back up the middle. Stalzer, his first hit of the game. Least his second crack at it, with runners now on first and second and 1 out. First pitch he saw, he doubled out in the right center field, but he swings through this one. A little off-speed action from Shark, and it's 0-1. Both these teams kind of have settled into a little bit of a zone here, with Parizek in relief for Stalzer on the hill for Valley, and now Shark working in relief of Wood. This ball, Delahoy's going to step on the bag for 1. He won't have a play at second. It was a slow developing play there, but they were able to get the force out at second, 6 unassisted. Least will take first on a fielder's choice. So with 2 outs, now runners on the corners, and we'll see what kind of base running plays that we'll see from Coach Ryan Cooley. If you think about all the different ways that you can try to draw a throw, I mean, it doesn't really matter if Denison decides, you know what, we're not going to throw to second. We don't care about that stolen base. We're just going to try to get an out. We're not going to let you try to steal home in the back door on us. And that's what you usually see, but sometimes you get a throw from the catcher down to second base, and that runner from third will attempt to sneak behind everything else and try to score, but instead we'll get a ball well outside. It's 1-0 here to Garrett Helm. Helm 0 for 1. He walked and scored in the first, and in the second went down on strike swinging against Shark. It's the lone strikeout Shark's been able to put on the board so far in relief. Shark sets, looks at the runners, and fires. And that's off the outside edge, 2-0. Shark sets. Once again, kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-1. Tigers playing baseball here at Hanson Family Field in this nice, beautiful complex. Runner takes off for second. As predicted, no throw down. Really just situation as usual. It was a strike to Helm. You can give credit to Lease for the stolen base. Now just one strikeout of getting out of the inning. Runners on second and third, 2 outs, and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Shark gets Helm again, and that'll retire the side. Ottumwa gets through a little jam. Valley threatens, cannot score. We're through 4. Valley still has the lead, however. 8-3 right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Got another pitcher in for Valley as they continue to cycle through their guys. Now back into the game after Parizek gives a couple of strong innings. Get the identity of this pitcher, Jake Auer. So Auer started and batted in the 3-hole and played third base in game 1. And he'll be asked to come in here. And with the sun setting right now, we've probably lost close to 10 degrees. It feels even better than that, though, without the UV rays blasting on you. So beautiful. I mean, you could not ask for a better night for baseball now that the sun is kind of gone down. Parizek, 2 innings of work, allowed just 2 hits, allowed just 1 run to score. It was earned. It was an earned run. Did not issue a walk, and he struck out 1 through 25 pitches and will be available on Wednesday for Valley. Blaze Rominger will lead off with Mitch Wood and Jesus Jaime, the scheduled hitters here for Ottumwa in this half of the 5th inning. Rominger 0 for 2. Auer delivers, and there's a line drive single out in right field. So much like Parizek, Auer greeted immediately with a base hit. Auer last season, 5 pitching appearances. 5.25 was the ERA, 1.65 the whip. Opponents hit .310 against him, but when you talked about it, you're going to need arms. And Auer, definitely one of those guys that you would think is set to take a step forward in his abilities on the mound. And this is, of course, his first appearance facing live batters at the varsity level this year. It's everybody's first game in the state of Iowa. Mitch Wood fouls this one out of play. Wood is come to the plate 5 times altogether today, and he has 4 hits, all coming in his last 4 appearances. So he's swinging a good bat here to start the season. Last time up in the third, doubled into right field. Didn't miss a home run over that short 305 walled out in right field by much, but ended up getting a double and would score a run. One and one the count now to the current second baseman, middle infielder. Started the game pitching. I'm sure we'll see him pitch again very soon. Would be surprised if, honestly, he doesn't get a little bit more run on Wednesday. He only threw 31 pitches in the first inning. It did not go the way he wanted it to. 3 walks and a couple hit batters. Could not find the control on it. But his numbers last year suggest that he certainly will be one of the top arms that Ottumwa is going to try to throw out there regularly this season. 2-1 in the dirt. Quick fake throw over to first base. Rominger not super far away. Now we're going to try to come back from a 3-1 count here, but Wood is a dangerous batter. You do not want to just curve one in there. And he does an excellent job of finding the outside part of the plate. Wood doesn't want the breaking ball. He's thinking fastball there. And rightly so. When you're in a hitter's count, you kind of know what pitch you're looking for and what pitch you want to hit. And if it's not the right one, you don't want to hit soft contact when you're ahead in the count. And Wood earns himself a walk. It's been an excellent first day at the plate for Mitch Wood. He'll definitely be able to carry that on. And that'll bring up the powerful cleanup hitter Jesus Jaime, who doubled deep into right center field, RBI, and eventually would score in the first. And then he flew deep out into center field. We talk about the 305s down the line. Well, if you miss that fly ball out deep into center field, as home plate umpire having a talk with Jaime before he steps in the box. Jaime hit it probably about 380 or so, just shy of the track in center field, and Alex Whitcomb made an excellent play, ranging back on it, backpedaling and squeezing it to rob him of extra bases and likely at least an RBI. There's a good inside corner pitch, 0-1. Jaime just a junior, but you would figure the way his power numbers were last year, he's going to be one of the top RBI men in all of Class 4A this year across the state. And he's shown that ability so far here today. The 0-1 with runners on first and second, nobody out. And he chops this one foul. As a good off-speed pitch. Jaime couldn't do much with it even if he got a good piece of it. And the 0-2 with Trey Schwartz, who's also hit the ball hard in both times this game in the on-deck circle. Jake Auer at the ready, delivers this one, and Jaime fouls it out of play. Still 0-2. The set here from Auer. And, again, great job that time by Jaime. He was fooled on the pitch and somehow kept his bat in the zone long enough to get a piece of contact on it. For the most part, if you're Ottumwa, your offense, you really just are trying to get on in front of this guy. Try to score some runs when he comes to the plate, and he hammers this one deep right field, up to the track, and over the wall. Jesus Jaime with a 3-run bomb, and Ottumwa is right back into this ballgame. Opposite field power by, as I mentioned, one of the top run producers in the state. And the 3-run bomb puts it at 8-6. That just jumped off the bat to right field, and all 3 of his extra base hits have come opposite field power. That just tells you what kind of swing this guy has. So the 3-run bomb with still nobody out, and Ottumwa certainly has some life here, and Auer just going to try to recalibrate himself as Schwartz was on that pitch too, but just underneath it. Fouls it straight back to the screen. It's 0-1. Schwartz singled, RBI back in the first, and then in the third hit a ball hard in the left center field, but Alex Whitcomb covered a ton of ground and made a nice catch running into the gap. Good check swing by Schwartz on a ball that broke away low in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Well, it didn't take long for Ottumwa to have their first home run of the season. Just game number 2. Last year, it's a team that had 4 home runs all year, and Schwartz gives this one a ride deep to left field, backing up his least on it, but he will settle. The wind knocking it down from left field. And that's another hard-hit ball by Trey Schwartz, but that is the one spot on this field, the way the wind's been blowing all day long. If you go to straightaway left field, it's probably going to get knocked down, and that's exactly what happened to Schwartz there. But good swing, good metal on it, and that's the first out. Adam Denniston, the catcher now, who has singled both times he's been to the plate today, in game number 2 at least. And he'll swing through this one. 0-1. Auer just trying to get himself through. After 3 runs got put on quickly on the Jaime home run. This one low, 1-1. 1 out, nobody on. 8-6 here. Ottumwa battling back after being down by as many as 6 after Valley scored 8 in the first. Slow roller, left side. Going to be the third baseman Helm, but his throw is wide of the mark. Denniston is going to take off for second. Meyer, who backed up the play at first from his catching position, won't have a throw. That's going to be an infield hit from me at least for Denniston. So the infield single slowly hit to the left side. That's a tough throw across your body for Helm. But honestly, if you were going to try to get an out, that's the only way you could have done it. That gets all the way to the catcher moving away from first base. There's no way he's going to be able to make an accurate throw in time to get the runner. Pedro Gonzalez will run at second base for Denniston as the courtesy. E5 goes the error, which allows Denniston to get to second, and now Gonzalez running for him, and that'll bring up Tyler Shark. And now Shark, chance to help himself out a little bit. There's a good pitch on the outside corner, 0-1. 1 out, runner on second here for Ottumwa, and the tying run now at the plate. See if the bottom of the Bulldog order can get a couple hits together and keep this rally alive. Still the top of the 5th. They still have 8 outs they're working with. There's another strike the inside corner. It's 0-2. And Shark came into this game. You probably figured he was going to pitch at some point today, but having to enter in a tough situation in the first inning. And he's pitched well to this point. And the Ottumwa offense now starting to click against the Valley bullpen. There's a swing and a miss. Auer comes back and gets the 3-pitch strikeout on Shark. His first strikeout in relief, and there's 2 away now, and it'll be the senior Andrew Cole. Cole trying to still figure out exactly where the zone is. When he's been up there, there's been some really tight calls on both sides of the plate that has basically always been a strike on him. We'll see what he's able to do here against Auer in his first appearance against him. Pitch. That one drops low, and it's 1-0. Cole was hit by a pitch, just ticked the edge of his helmet back in the second, and then he struck out swinging in the 4th. Pedro Gonzalez is the runner at second. 1-0 is the count. The delivery. There's a swing and a miss. Good drop on that pitch. It's 1-1. Valley kind of going with the 2-inning. Guys doing 2 innings at a time here, at least in this second game. Got Alex Ling, good 3 innings of work. As he started game 1 and got the win, as there's a swing and a miss by Cole, and it's 1-2. Cole will dig back in. Auer shakes off a couple of signs, shakes off a third sign now, accepts, comes set, and fires. And breaking ball in the dirt. Meyer will have to throw to first to complete the out, and he will. And back-to-back strikeouts to get out of a jam, but a 3-run home run by Jesus Jaime gets Ottumwa back in the game. 8-6, Valley the lead. They'll bat in the 5th when we come up right here on the CISN.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and as winter finally lets go, I'm sure your thoughts are turning to outdoors just like mine. And we've got the furniture to make your spring and summer the best ever. We've got furniture from domestic manufacturers as well as imports, and I've got a lot of it in stock. We're showing 120 sets on the floor, the best we've ever had. Please come see us for your outdoor furniture needs at Fireplace Superstore. For great deals on great furniture, come to Fireplace Superstore.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Ottumwa clawing back into this one, and now Tyler Shark continues to work in relief and is going to continue to try to keep the Tigers where they are. He'll face the lower third of the order. Carson Shelton, Tanner Christ, and Nick Meyer are the 3 scheduled hitters. Ottumwa was down by 6 after the first inning. It was 8-2. And Valley seemed well on their way to a doubleheader sweep, but Ottumwa scratched across 1 in the 3rd, and then Jesus Jaime with a huge bomb into the right field, a 3-run shot at the top of this 5th inning, and now it's just a 2-run lead. We'll see if that affects the way that Valley is going to play this one out. We did have some substitutions early in the game, but for the most part, you couldn't tell. All the guys that have entered, and for both of these teams, are certainly capable at their positions and are not into the bench type guys. And in terms of why are we seeing so many pitchers, early in the season you'll see coaches all the time just try to keep pitch counts low, try to figure out exactly what each guy has, at least in the early part of the season. But as long as Tyler Shark keeps throwing the way he's throwing the last few innings, you'd figure he's going to have a little bit of a leash. As this one in the dirt, it's 1-1 to Carson Shelton. Shelton 0 for 2 here. Did not play game 1. He started at right field in game 2. Reached on a fielder's choice and scored a run in the first, and then popped up on the edge of the outfield grass. It was caught by Mitch Wood, the second baseman, back in the 2nd. 2-1 the count. Shark, the lefty, fires. Big swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. Either way, regardless of how this outing ends up for Shark, to come on in relief with the first inning going the way it was going, and then the way that he's been able to throw some zeros up, it has been a plentiful outing for him for sure. As that misses, 3-2. He's already well past the 40-pitch mark, so will be unavailable on Wednesday, but that's the least of Coach John Yeager's concerns is there's a strike 3 called at the knees on a full count pitch. That's his 3rd strikeout in relief for Shark, and there's 1 out. Tanner Christ will come up here, 8-hole hitter. He's 1 for 2, a single, couple RBIs, a run scored. He flew out to left last time in the 3rd. Ottumwa, as mentioned, does not play for another week beyond that Wednesday game, so the fact that Shark cannot pitch Wednesday, he'll have at least a full week to rest up and be available again. No matter how many pitches he throws, the cap limit in high school ball is 110 for a sophomore, junior, or senior, so still a long way from that, and you'll rarely see pitchers throw over 100 pitches at this level, but if they wanted to, they could and not have to worry too much about his availability moving forward. Quickly 0-2 to Chris after a couple of swinging strikes. 1 out, nobody on, and the pitch. Blown away. The sophomore catcher Nick Meyer is the scheduled hitter on deck. The windup and the delivery. Big hook in there. Oh, it settles in there. What a pitch. Shark just froze Christ on that big hook. And with 2 outs and nobody on, it'll be the 9-hitter, Nick Meyer. Meyer reached on an error, and his courtesy runner, Nick Hobson, would score a run in the first, and then he would hit a ball on a rope out in the left field. Andrew Cole, though, would be there and make the catch. 1-0 the count. It's worth mentioning again with these two teams being so heavy in upperclassmen, Ottumwa mainly juniors, Valley mainly seniors. Meyer at the plate, the only sophomore we've seen from both sides. This ball, a rope. It's going to short hop the third baseman, Jaime, however. It was kind of caught him in the middle. I'm not sure what else he could have done on that. It looked like it was coming a little harder than it was. Just kind of dropped before it could get to his glove. Waiting to see what the scoreboard says on that ruling. Either way, Meyer aboard. It'll be Hobson to run at first base as the courtesy. And that'll bring up Alex Whitcomb. So this is the third time through that Shark is seeing these batters. We'll see if there's any adjustment that Valley has been able to make. I'm going to give a hit there, on my book at least, to Meyer down the third base line that hits the glove of Jesus Jaime, as this pitch to Whitcomb is outside, 1-0. Whitcomb 0 for 2, did draw a walk to start the game against Mitch Wood, and eventually would score, but in his 2 at-bats against Tyler Shark, he popped up to second and then flew out to center. The 1-0. That's outside. Quick throw behind the runner. Good dig by Swartz over at first base. That nearly hopped over his glove, and Hobson would have had at least 1 free base, maybe 2. So those little things, they don't pop up in the score sheet, but revisiting this game, that's a nice play by Swartz to keep the runner on at first. Runner does go here. Denniston throws down. There was really no chance. Hobson got a huge lead that time on Shark and steals the base easily. Second steal in the game for Nick Hobson. Runner now on second, and it's a 3-0 count to Whitcomb. We'll see if he gets the green light. There is a big gap out in right center field if he can find it, the delivery. And he does swing on 3-0. Coming on, Andrew Cole can't squeeze it and make the catch. He was running hard to try to make the play, but a run will score. That ball was dying quickly. Anything hit to left field, I have noticed, and I'm not sure it's just the wind, but anything that we see hit that direction, even though it looks like it's hit real hard, a lot of times it just kind of dies on them out there, whether it's the infielders or the outfielders. And on 3-0, Whitcomb reaches, and the scoreboard at least reads E7 on that one. So now it's up to Shark. After an unearned run crosses the plate. Up to Shark against Corbin. Ottumwa trying to, umpire's waiting on Ottumwa to get somebody to go get this foul ball. And now we have somebody who got it. 0-1 here to Caleb Corbin. Corbin is 2 for 3 in this game. Went 4 for 4 in game 1, so he's swinging a hot bat. Runner goes. Whitcomb at first. Here's the throw down to second. Not going to be in time, and Whitcomb takes second. They definitely have a read on Shark's delivery now, and he's not been throwing too many tosses over to first base to keep the runners close. Doesn't really give Denniston much opportunity to throw these runners out, especially with the speed that they have. 9-6 Valley, the lead, as they have scratched 1 across here, an unearned run, but looking for more. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Even the out that Corbin had last time up in the 4th was hit hard out in the left center field, but Colton McKinnon did an excellent job of reading it and tracking it down in the gap, robbing him of what would have been his 7th straight hit to start the season. The 1-2, runner goes to third, but this ball hit, and that's going to fall into the right center field gap. Hit and run to perfection. Corbin is thinking, too, he's on his way to second. Wood is going to fire to second, but it's not going to be in time. Hustle double for Caleb Corbin, and Valley gets 2 runs back here in this bottom of the 5th inning after Ottumwa got it back to a 2-run game. So Whitcomb scores his 2nd run of the game. And Nick Buttolph. And now we're getting into the RBI guys. As I mentioned, this is 3rd time through, so for Shark, it's always tough, even at the major league level. A lot of times these days you won't even see a major league pitcher last that long into a game to see a complete lineup 3 times, especially in big games. But here, Shark trying to eat another inning. And he almost was out of it. Cole nearly had an excellent catch running in, but unable to squeeze it, which allowed the inning to continue. And now 2 runs are across. It's just the thing with baseball. Sometimes it's just tough luck. For a pitcher, it's trucking along there, but just could not quite make the out. So with 1-1 the count, 2 outs, runner on second here. Valley trying to extend the lead back up to maybe 5, maybe more. This one, a strike in the outside corner, 1-2. Lefty fires. Check swing in the dirt. And I'm going to say Coach Yeager said that he thought he went around from where the umpire, the base umpire, is not down the first base line, as typical when you only have a 2-umpire crew like you do in high school baseball and softball in the regular season. When there's a runner on second, that umpire is positioned between second and third, so he can make calls out on the base pass. Butoff lines this one left center field. That'll drop. Rounding third is Corbin. He will score, and the throw gets away, and that will allow Butoff to take second. We're going to go E8 on the throw back in to allow the runner to second, but it's an RBI single here for Butoff, and third time through is proving to be a factor here for Valley against Shark. And Casey Stalzer, functioning as the DH after starting the game as the pitcher, comes on with a runner on second. And 2 outs. He singled last time. This one misses outside, 1-0. Stalzer is 1 for 2. Was hit by a pitch in the first. Popped out in foul ground. Right fielder Blaze Rominger made an excellent catch to get him out back in the second. And then in the fourth, he singled right back up the middle. This one low and away, 2-0. A little bit of action, at least being shown in the Ottumwa bullpen. I mean, as I mentioned earlier in this inning, regardless of how this outing ends, to eat almost 4 innings here, first night of the season for Shark, kept Ottumwa in it for a while. I mean, certainly a good positive outing to build off of, but now he's just trying to get one more out and get that offense back up to the plate. 3-0 the count here to Stalzer. On deck is Noah Least. The delivery. Strike at the knees. It's 3-1. Shark sets and fires. And that's chopped foul. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count, Stalzer. Get the foul ball back into play. If you missed our explanation earlier, as per coronavirus, there's plenty of sanitizer and disinfectant in both dugouts for equipment and dugout. Basically anything they use in there, and Ottumwa has their own baseballs they use when they're in the field, and Valley has their own baseballs used in the field, and the other team cannot touch them. Ground ball up the middle, ranging to his right is Wood. Throw to first base is in time, and that'll retire the side. But Valley does score 3 unearned runs in this 5th inning to rebuild their lead back to 5. It's 11-6. We'll head to the 6th. Ottumwa will have the top of the order coming up when we come back right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and as winter finally lets go, I'm sure your thoughts are turning to outdoors just like mine. And we've got the furniture to make your spring and summer the best ever. We've got furniture from domestic manufacturers as well as imports, and I've got a lot of it in stock. We're showing 120 sets on the floor, the best we've ever had. Please come see us for your outdoor furniture needs at Fireplace Superstore. For great deals on great furniture, come to Fireplace Superstore.
Hi, Ron Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
More pitching changes here is it'll be Caleb Corbin after Jake Auer goes 1 inning for Valley. Corbin, the senior, will come on. We'll get to his numbers in a moment, but for Auer, 1 inning of work, he allowed 3 hits, 3 runs. All 3 were earned. He walked 1, and he struck out 2. He threw just 26 pitches. So Valley definitely going by committee here. Auer stays in the game. We'll get to the defensive changes in a moment. So Auer with 26 pitches, 19 strikes, and 7 balls. He also would be available on Wednesday should he be needed, as will Oliver Parizek, who threw 25 pitches in 2 innings of work earlier. It's going to be 9-1-2. It looks like Jake Auer has taken over at third where he played in the game 1. Corbin goes from short to pitching, so that spot opened up. Tanner Christ moves from second to short. And there's a strike here out the gates to McKinnon. The 0-1 in the dirt. Eleven to 6, Valley the lead. Just trying to identify the player at second. Could be Nick Hobson, but until I get a good look at the back number, and that front number just isn't doing enough for me on that, so we'll keep you posted on that. McKinnon at the plate, 0 for 2. Struck out looking in the second and then popped out in foul ground. The first baseman butt off in the 4th inning. And it's now 3-1 to him. Top of the order will be coming up for Ottumwa. You'd figure this is a real good opportunity to get a couple of runners on. You never know with that powerful middle of the order with Wood, Jaime, and Schwartz, as this is flared out in the right. But basically not having to move at all is Carson Shelton, and he'll make the catch. Nick Hobson is the second baseman, as Garrett Helm has exited with Auer staying in the game. 1 away, nobody on. Dominic Delahoy, who's 0 for 3 in game 2, comes to the plate. A couple of strikeouts, and he grounded to first right down the line last time up back in the 4th. First one a strike here. The 0-1. Corbin misses. 1-1. Caleb Corbin, as a junior, only pitched in 1 game last year, 4 innings worth. Did not allow a run, however, just a couple of walks and 4 strikeouts. The 2 runs that were allowed were not earned, so they did not get charged against his ERA. There's a strike, 1 and 2. Opponents hit just 133 against him. But again, small sample size, as we have seen with a lot of these guys. Just seeing what they got, have had a year to continue to progress, and at least head coach Ryan Cooley and his staff, they just wanted to see as many guys as possible here first night out. One and 2 is still the count to Delahoy. The windup and delivery in the dirt. Good eye. Delahoy, as the kids say, he spit on that all the way. No problem reading that one out of the hand. 2-2 to him. With an out and nobody on for Ottumwa. Top half of the 6th is the Bulldogs trail by 5. That one just misses low, and it's 3-2. Good at bat here from Dominic Delahoy. The payoff. Swing and a miss. Got him on the breaker. And that's the second out. First strikeout in relief here for Caleb Corbin. And that'll bring up Blaze Rominger. So Rominger so far in this one, 1 for 3, a couple of strikeouts early against Stalzer, but did single last time up. This one up the middle, knocked down, stayed on the infield, but that's going to be an infield hit. And Rominger will bring up this dangerous 3-4-5 that Ottumwa has in this order. The infield single will at least allow this 6th inning to continue. Wood has had a very nice night offensively. He reached on a fielder's choice in game 1 to start, then a couple of singles and a run scored. And in this game, a single, a double, and then a walk, and he scored all 3 times he's reached base. First pitch to him here is in the dirt. Great work behind the plate by the sophomore Nick Meyer. And it's 1-0. Behind Wood is Jesus Jaime, who hit a 3-run homer last time up, last inning. They'd love to get him up here with runners on. The 1-0. That's low. The 2-0. Whenever you have a big part of your order that you can rely on to drive in runs, you're never quite out of a game. Ottumwa has seen that come to fruition here, but down by 5 here in the 6th. Just 4 outs remaining to try to make up that deficit. They'd love to do it right here with their big bats. That's high, and it's 3-0. Now Coach John Yeager, is he going to give the green light to Mitch Wood? We've seen the green light pretty much from both teams all game long. But he can be choosy if he doesn't like what pitch he sees coming out of the hand of Corbin. And he doesn't. It's good curveball. Again, as a batter, you're thinking if you're a fastball hitter, if it's not a fastball, you're just going to stand there and watch it no matter where it is. And that's exactly what Wood does. He wants a pitch he knows he can hit. 3-1 now, and this is a great hitter's count. Corbin will step off. Not a big lead over there by Rominger. He doesn't want to be an out on the base paths with the big bats coming up, but still something to think about for Caleb Corbin on the hill. 3-1. The set and fire. In the dirt, ball 4. Wood walks for the second straight time, and he's done it, which was the main goal, at least in this inning, is to try to allow Jesus Jaime a chance to bat with runners on base. So after a couple of quick outs, Rominger infield hit. Mitch Wood draws a walk. And now Corbin faces the dangerous Jesus Jaime, who homered over the right field wall, opposite field. Last inning. Is that pitch in the dirt? 1-0. Corbin had a little bit of control issues here. Last few batters. In fact, he's gone to 3 balls in 3 of the first 4 that he's seen. A 3-ball count. Out of the stretch. Here's the 1-0. Strike at the knees. 1-1. On deck as well as Trey Schwartz, who, despite being just 1 for 3, has hit the ball hard all 3 times. Corbin shakes off a couple of signs and now sets. Kicks, fires. Big curveball in there and for a strike. That certainly has been the pitch that has worked the best in terms of his accuracy. And Jaime has basically hit fastballs. That's the pitch he's been looking for today, but didn't give him one there, and it's 1-2. The pitch. He came back with it for a 3rd time and got Jaime swinging. Some good pitching there from Corbin, working himself out of trouble, and that'll retire the side in the 6th. Valley maintains their 5-run lead, 11-6. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th right after this on CISN.
MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Junior Thomas Mitchell being asked to come on and try to keep Valley where they are. Overall, I think you have to give big ups to Tyler Shark. Does not allow an earned run in what was 4 2/3 innings of relief, which in high school ball, I mean, that first of all, that's a long relief outing, but against a Valley offense that really has been was clicking up to that point in the first inning, had already scored 7 runs, 1 more run scored on a hit that Shark gave up, but it wasn't charged to him. But he gave up 6 hits in those 4 2/3 innings, 3 runs, none of which were earned, 0 earned runs off Shark. He did end up walking 1 batter and struck out 4. He did throw 75 pitches, won't be available until Ottumwa gets back in action next week. He could play, but he won't be able to pitch on Wednesday, as per the pitching rules with the pitch counts. 75 pitches, 46 strikes, and 29 balls. Thomas Mitchell is the guy that is back in. Mitchell last year just threw 1 game, threw 1 inning. It was in mop-up duty, 14.0 earned run average. Allowed 2 earned runs and 2 earned runs, 4 total runs, 4 hits, and 9 opponent at-bats. So batters hitting .444 against him in just the 1 outing last year as a sophomore. But now as a part of this large and very strong junior class, you have an opportunity to show what he's got. And little breaker comes too far inside. Noah Least is the batter. 1-1 the count. Least came in for Drew Peterson. Peterson was hit by a pitch, either on the arm or in the back. We didn't see him since. Again, we don't want to go out of our way to speculate anything, but it's 1-2 here to Least, but certainly don't want to act like we know anything we don't know, but Least has been in the game since that first inning hit by pitch. There's a strike 3, and Least knew it. Totally fooled by that off-speed pitch, the big breaker, and just jogged back to the dugout. It's a good pitch from Thomas Mitchell for out number 1. Do have some defensive adjustments that Ottumwa came out with, at least at second base. Mitch Wood went back to the dugout, and Wood never fully exited the game before when he was replaced as the starting pitcher, as Nick Hobson, who entered the game as a defensive replacement for Garrett Helm after some lineup finagling by Ryan Cooley. The 0-1 is a called strike as he checked it up, but it was a strike anyway. Hobson has scored a couple of times as a courtesy runner for the catcher, Nick Meyer. Now it's 0-2 to him. Hobson last year just 0 for 5 hitting, but lines this one out in the left field, and there's a hit. After going 0 for 5 as a hitter last year, he's got a hit in his first attempt this year. So with 1 out and a good runner aboard, it'll be Carson Shelton to bat. He's 0 for 3. Reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the first and popped out to second in the second. Then in the 5th, he struck out looking. So Mitchell now for the first time will be in the stretch. Valley with an 11-6 lead. Decent lead by Hobson at first. Already does have a couple of stolen bases as that courtesy runner earlier in the game. With Hobson coming in as a replacement for a different player, he is no longer eligible to serve as the courtesy runner for Nick Meyer in the 9-hole. Somebody else would have to do that if Meyer comes back to the plate and reaches, if they want to use the courtesy runner for him. Pitchers and catchers get courtesy runners and have unlimited re-entries, which is a high school rule. Keep those guys in the battery that are a part of all the action rested and ready to go when they're back out there on the field. Keep things going in that battery. 2-0 here to Shelton. Beautiful night here in Central Iowa as this ball popped up, foul ground, and out of play. 2-1. It's worth rehashing the schedules again, at least from what we know. For Ottumwa, they are at home for their home opener Wednesday. Ankeny comes to town for them. Legion Memorial Field in Ottumwa Park. Great facility. Seen plenty of baseball successes over the years. It's a 2-1 on the way. It's a strike, 2-2. It's a good breaker from Thomas Mitchell. He's showing off those finesse pitches pretty well. You can tell he's been working in the offseason. As far as we know, Ottumwa does not have a game after Wednesday until next Monday. For Valley, they have 2 more doubleheaders this week. Now that pitch had him all sorts of fooled as that's out of play. As Schwartz, good effort running to the line. That back foot from Shelton was bailing out there, thinking that pitch was going to be coming inside. And again, it just kind of swerved right over the plate. But give credit to Shelton. The emergency swing to keep himself alive. Keeps him at the plate 2-2. Valley hosts Roosevelt here at this facility, Hanson Family Field, coming up Wednesday. As Hobson runs, popped up, foul ground. That's a long run for everybody, and nobody will get there. In fact, it looks like Hobson, despite the fact that he would be able to take second base there, the way that he's been running. He did not play a whole lot last year, just appeared in 7 games total, and only scored 1 run, so was not heavily utilized. Did get 3 walks as a batter, but did have no hits. As it looks like they're going to need a different ball. That ball may have been scuffed after it hit the fence. And Mitchell wants a new one. The Ottumwa dugout says we don't have any more, so now they're going to introduce a brand new ball from the Valley dugout. So Roosevelt coming here to face Valley in a doubleheader on Wednesday, and then Valley's first road game is Friday. They'll travel to Lincoln, Des Moines, Lincoln here in the state of Iowa. Good pickoff move shown by Mitchell there. Hobson nearly leaning the wrong way, but back safely. Lincoln on the south side of Des Moines, hosting Valley, as that pitch is going to hit Shelton after a good battle at the plate. Shelton will eventually reach on the hit by pitch. That one just kind of slips out of Mitchell's hand. Every baseball is a little different. He didn't like the one that they brought back after the foul ball down the right field line. Valley has to put one in play for him, and the first pitch he throws with that one ends up plunking him in the back. Not sure if it was a little slicker, some he hadn't had a chance to kind of fiddle with before, but either way, runners on first and second, 1 out for Tanner Christ. First pitch, a strike. 0-1. Christ 1 for 3, singled up the middle, 2 RBIs, and a run scored in the first out of this 8 slot. In the third, flew out to left, and then in the 5th, struck out looking. The 0-1. Out of the stretch, and the delivery. The ground ball, left side, took a weird hop. Jaime over to second, but it gets under the glove of the second baseman. That'll allow a runner to score. Hunter Golian entered the game. He's a player who's at second. The timing of that was all messed up. They kind of tried to force getting the force out at second base. Technically, in my book, that's a fielder's choice for Christ. But certainly Jaime's throw was low, but it took a weird hop on the lip of the grass. He was able to glove it, but his throw to second, Golian tried to dig it out of there, could not, and it squirted out into right field as Nick Meyer takes a ball 1-0. So Hobson, who was at second, would have reached third anyway, but then scores on the error. It'll go E5 in my book. And Shelton not only was safe at second, but then reached third. As this ball popped up, foul ground, out of play. 1-1. As Christ was on the move, on the pitch there. As you can see the aggressive base running that Valley's had, especially with the runner on third. You're basically daring that catcher with less than 2 outs to throw that ball down to second and try to throw out your runner. Because if he does, there's a chance that that runner at third can just try to steal home. Still runners on the corners, though, because of the foul ball, he had to come back. See if he's off to the races again. He is not. This ball popped up on the infield. Golian backing up in the infield grass. Lost it, can't get it, and the ball will drop. The throw will come in a second, though. Heads-up play by Blake Rominger. So Golian having a couple of tough plays fresh into the game. That ball was popped up, and he's kind of drifting out to right field, but it was ended up dropping well over his head. But Rominger, good play out there in right. Gets the force out at second. So technically, for Meyer, it's an RBI fielder's choice. Got a courtesy runner for him over at first base. Technically is 9-6 on the force out at second. Ryan Mendez is your courtesy runner. And this delivery in the dirt, squirts away from Dennison. Dennison's had a really nice game defensively as the catcher, but this one does get away and allows Mendez into second on what will be a wild pitch. So a couple of misplays out in the field for Ottumwa. A couple more runs are in. As mentioned, you can give Meyer an RBI on that fielder's choice. A weird play, but that's the way you score it. As Shelton came from third after the ball dropped. But it's not a hit for Meyer because a force out was gotten on Chris, who had to basically freeze at first base thinking that ball could be caught. And Rominger came up firing, and an accurate throw to second got him out on the force. Runner on second after the wild pitch. The 1-0. That one's low. And it's 3 balls, actually. No strikes. So Whitcomb, 0 for 3, but he has reached twice, 1 on a walk, 1 on an error. Stole a base, couple of runs scored, and has played a very strong defensive center field. After starting the game in left field, did move to center after a substitution, and he'll take ball 4, a 4-pitch walk. And he is aboard. So runners on first and second, and you can make the argument the hottest hitter on the field, and maybe even the state of Iowa here on day 1 of baseball in the state, is this young man, Caleb Corbin. He was 4 for 4 in game 1, and he's 3 for 4 so far in this game with 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored. And that includes the 1 out was a deep fly ball in the left center field that Colton McKinnon for Ottumwa made an excellent running catch on to rob him of what would have been extra bases as well. He'll take a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Valley a 13-6 lead here. Ottumwa has shown signs of offensive life multiple times, but Valley's offense has just been able to pluck away and take advantage of some miscues defensively to rebuild their lead. Down to a 2-run game at one point in the 5th, but here in the bottom of the 6th, Valley has pushed it back to a 7-run game. This is the largest lead of this particular game. And with good speed aboard, with Mendez over at second and Whitcomb at first. Corbin is up now with 2 outs, trying to keep this inning alive. Nice breaker in there for strike 2. That one painting the inside corner. And you see Mitchell definitely has that off-speed pitch working. Could be a huge utility for him throughout this season, as Ottumwa will ask him for a lot more work than the one game he pitched last year. The 1-2. This ball chopped, foul. Third base side. Keeps him alive, and it's 1-2. Little action over in the bullpen for Ottumwa. Max Thomason throwing. We'll see if we see him. If Mitchell can't get out of the frame, as this is fouled back. And again, Valley's going to have to introduce another ball as we keep fouling balls off. Out of play. Remember, the typical protocol here is until one side is out of baseballs and wait for them to be returned to them, the other team can bring one into play, introduce one into play. This is a ground ball over the head of the pitcher. Tough play at short. Fielded, throw over, but it's not going to be in time. Schwartz had to come off for Delahoy's throw, but again, slow chopper. This grass feels a little thick. I was out there kind of walking before the game just to kind of get a feel for it, and it takes a long time on a multiple bounce hop. It takes a long time to, like if you chop right in front of the plate, if the pitcher doesn't field it, it takes a while to get to an infielder. As Caleb Corbin is going to exit, I believe they're going to ask him for another inning of work potentially, so he's eligible for the courtesy runner. And the courtesy will be Andy Custer. So that's an infield hit in my book for Corbin. Dennison will come out and talk to Mitchell here. Runners occupying all three bags. And it's the number 3 hitter, Nick Butoff, at the plate with 2 outs. That is the softest hit ball of the day for Corbin, but it was slow enough as it rolled towards short. And Delahoy could not make the play. And the first pitch is up over everything all the way to the backstop, and that'll allow a runner to score. As the wild pitch is ball 1, and everybody moves up 90 feet. Scoring from third is Mendez, who was running for Meyer. Over to third is Whitcomb, and at second now is Caleb Corbin. And if you're wondering about the run rule, it is still obviously in effect now that we're past the 4th inning. 5th inning and on, it is 10 runs. This delivery, swing and a miss. The potential game-ending run, if you will, as it's 1-1, is at second. So if Whitcomb and Corbin both score, that would be it via the run rule here in 6. But as this ball hit hard into right center field, backing up is Rominger over his head, and that will do it. As Butoff will just hold at first base. 2 runs will score, and that will be the ball game. As Valley 16-6, the bats get hot here in this 6th inning, and that is the ball game. We'll step aside and take a break. When we come back, we'll give you a full rundown of these Game 2 stats. Up next, right here, you're watching the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and as winter finally lets go, I'm sure your thoughts are turning to outdoors just like mine. And we've got the furniture to make your spring and summer the best ever. We've got furniture from domestic manufacturers as well as imports, and I've got a lot of it in stock. We're showing 120 sets on the floor, the best we've ever had. Please come see us for your outdoor furniture needs at Fireplace Superstore. For great deals on great furniture, come to Fireplace Superstore.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and as winter finally lets go, I'm sure your thoughts are turning to outdoors just like mine. And we've got the furniture to make your spring and summer the best ever. We've got furniture from domestic manufacturers as well as imports, and I've got a lot of it in stock. We're showing 120 sets on the floor, the best we've ever had. Please come see us for your outdoor furniture needs at Fireplace Superstore. For great deals on great furniture, come to Fireplace Superstore.
Back here live from Valley High School, just south of Valley High School, Hanson Family Field. We have a final in Game 2. Valley, another run rule victory, this time in 6 innings, 16-6. Valley gets hot here in the 6th and is able to score 5 runs, all really with 2 outs. Does a great job of finishing the ball game and getting their second win of the season, the young season, of course. Overall, Valley and Ottumwa both outside the top 10 in Class 4A, trying to work their way in. You can see definitely potential for both sides. A very junior-heavy team for Ottumwa. A lot of seniors for the Valley Tigers, but either way, both teams showed some promise in this one, but Ottumwa, especially a few fielding errors here or there, and these games certainly would be a lot closer. Some of these innings did eventually get away from them, but you would figure this team is going to be very competitive going into the rest of the season. Let's go ahead and give you the rundown. Valley moves to 2-0, both wins today. The Game 1 victory was in 5 innings, and it was 12-2. In Game 2, Valley 16-6. Valley 16 runs on 11 hits, 1 error they committed defensively with 5 left on base. Ottumwa, 6 runs on 10 hits, 4 errors with 7 left on base. The winning pitcher was Casey Stalzer. Stalzer moves to 1-0 on the season. Mitch Wood gets the loss for Ottumwa. He is 0-1. Game time, 2 hours and 12 minutes on a beautiful night here in Central Iowa. For Ottumwa offensively, Dominic Delahoy went 0 for 4 at the top with Blaze Rominger, went 2 for 4 with 1 run scored. Mitch Wood, 2 for 2, a couple of walks as well. 3 runs scored for him. Good game in the second game for him at the plate. Jesus Jaime, the junior, 2 for 4, 2 runs scored, 4 RBIs, including a 3-run home run over the right field fence. He is going to be one of the top RBI guys you'd figure in the entire state of Iowa. 6 RBIs in the 2 games here at Valley. So all 6 of the RBIs of the 8 runs scored in the 2 games for Ottumwa were knocked in by Jesus Jaime, the junior third baseman. Trey Schwartz went 1 for 3 but hit the ball hard all 3 times. Also had a run driven in. Adam Denniston went 3 for 3. Did have himself an RBI as well. A good game at the plate for the catcher. Max Thomason 0 for 1. Tyler Shark came in as a pitcher and did bat as well. He went 0 for 2 at the plate. Andrew Cole went 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch, and Colton McKinnon went 0 for 3. On the mound, Mitch Wood, the junior, just 1/3 of an inning. You know that he's going to be a bigger part of the Ottumwa equation on the mound moving forward, but tonight wasn't his night. 2 hits, 3 walks, 8 runs, 7 of which were earned with no strikeouts. 31 pitches, 12 were strikes, 19 were balls. Tyler Shark, excellent in relief, but kind of tough luck toward the end when he allowed 3 runs, none of which were earned. 4 2/3 innings in relief, 6 hits, 3 runs, none earned, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. He throws 75 pitches, 46 were strikes, 29 balls. He is not going to be available come Wednesday. Thomas Mitchell, 2/3 of an innings as well for the junior, 3 hits, 5 runs all earned with 1 walk and a strikeout. 32 pitches for him, 21 pitches were strikes, and 11 were balls. He and Mitch Wood both have the ability to pitch on Wednesday if called to do so by the coaching staff. For Valley, it was a busy box score as we got 5 times through the top third of the order. Alex Whitcomb ended up going 0 for 3, but did have 3 runs scored. In the number 2 spot, Caleb Corbin, what a day at the plate it was for him. He goes 4 for 5. He scores 3 times. He has 3 RBIs. And also on top of that, you look at his game 1, he went 4 for 4. He's 8 for 9 through 2 games so far this season. That's going to probably be one of the top marks and one day to open a season in the state of Iowa in any class. Number 3 hitter, Nick Buttolph. He had himself 2 hits and 3 at-bats. My mistake. He also had 3 RBIs, including the game ender. What was a single out to right field, but could have been a double or even a triple if he would have tried to keep running, but didn't need it as that was enough runs across the plate to end the game. Casey Stalzer in the cleanup spot went 1 for 3 as well. In the 5 spot, Drew Peterson only saw one at-bat, was hit by the pitch. He eventually, I believe it was him who ended up scoring the run, but he was lifted for Noah Least. Least came to the plate 3 times, went 1 for 3 in his appearances. Nick Helm had 3 plate appearances, went 0 for 2, walked, and did score a run. 1 for 1 for Nick Hobson, and he scored a run as well after he entered the game as a defensive replacement and then batted in that 6th inning that ended the game. Carson Shelton had 3 plate appearances, 3 at-bats, I should say, and was hit by a pitch, reached on a fielder's choice, would score 2 runs in the game. In the 8th spot, it was Tanner Christ. Christ went 1 for 4, and did have a run scored and 2 RBIs. And Nick Meyer, the sophomore catcher, went to the plate 4 times, went 1 for 4, but did have himself 2 RBIs. And his courtesy runner, Nick Hobson, scored twice, and Ryan Mendez ended up scoring once for him as well. Pitching-wise, Casey Stalzer, 2 innings of work to start the game, did allow 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned. No walks, 5 strikeouts. Did throw just 42 pitches. 29 were strikes, 13 were balls. He won't be available until Friday's doubleheader against Lincoln. Oliver Parizek went 2 innings in relief. 2 hits, 1 run it was earned with no walks and 1 strikeout. 25 pitches for him, 15 were strikes, 10 were balls. He'll be available Wednesday. Jake Auer, the senior, 1 inning of work, 3 hits, 3 runs. All were earned with 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. 26 pitches for him, 19 were strikes, 7 were balls. And then Caleb Corbin also pitched 1 inning of work. He allowed 1 hit, no runs across, did an excellent job getting himself out of a jam. He did walk 1, and he struck out 1. He struck out 2. He threw 22 pitches as well, and 11 balls and 11 strikes. He'll be available Wednesday for Valley as well. So for our entire crew, excellent job by the entire clan here with Devin and Reese. We appreciate you for joining us. This is the first of several games. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we'll have games for you on the Central Iowa Sports Network. Just go to CISN.TV. You can get a single game for just $5. You can get an entire season's pass for $30, an excellent deal for a month's worth of games. We'll have 2 doubleheaders from various locations throughout Central Iowa throughout the baseball and softball season through the middle of July. For the entire crew, my name is Emery Songer. Valley, 2 wins, run rule style. In 5 innings, they win game 1, 12-2. They win game 2 in 6 innings, 16-6. For the entire crew, I'm Emery Songer. This has been Valley and Ottumwa High School Baseball right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.